Question: how can infrared thermography be applied to buildings? Caleric Engineering and Electrical Limited has carried out many building thermography inspections. Thermography is used on buildings to visualize problems which are invisible to the naked eye. It allows us to see air leakage problems, to visualize insulation problems, to find areas where heat is escaping through improperly sealed joints, and ultimately it allows the householder or building manager to see where energy can be saved and therefore money can be saved. This image has been taken in the upstairs of a two-storey house. From the thermal image it's clear to be seen where cold air is infiltrating the room from the attic space due to a poor seal in the building material. In this image we can see the area above the window has a thermal anomaly where the wall is much colder above the window than the rest of the wall space in the room. This image was taken outside a two-storey house. The thermal image shows inconsistencies in the thermal properties of the building. In this image we're looking at the top right hand corner of the door where a poor door seal is letting a lot of heat escape from the inside of the house. In this image we're looking below the window where inside the wall there's a radiator, but there's no cavity insulation whatsoever. We can see an awful lot of heat escaping right through the inner leaf, the cavity and the outer leaf. This image was taken in a large office building where workers were complaining of drafts and cold spots around the room. The thermal anomalies can be clearly seen in the thermal image. Again, this image was taken in the same office building. The thermal image shows a poor door seal causing drafts to come under and around the door. This image was recorded when a client approached us to help find a burst heating pipe. The thermal image shows the source of the burst pipe, but this was not where the water was rising and therefore couldn't have been found easily otherwise without a lot of excavation. This image shows a wood drying kiln, and the purpose of the inspection was to find where heat and energy was being wasted, and it's clear to see that poor door seals were letting a lot of heat escape around the door. This was a similar type project for a meat factory where we looked for energy savings. We found a lot of poorly performing door seals. The door seals were allowing the cold air from the chill and freezer rooms to escape, meaning that the refrigeration system was working overtime to try and maintain a constant temperature. This is another office type situation where workers were complaining of cold air and drafts in the room. The thermal image shows where the air is infiltrating the room and allows remedial repair work to be easily carried out. This image was taken of a porta-cabin type office building. We were looking for any signs of heat escaping from the building. A damaged door frame showed a big heat loss. This image was taken in a new extension built onto a dwelling house. The owner of the house complained that the new extension was particularly hard to heat. The thermal image shows us where a lot of cold air from outside was entering through improperly sealed joints between the new extension and the original building. The image here of a roof vent in the utility room of a dwelling house which was retrofitted after the house had been completed. The thermal fault is consistent with a lot of retrofitted vents and electrical outlets where insulation had been removed from the ceiling in order to actually fit the vent. The insulation hadn't been put back in place and no correct seal had been made between the vent and the ceiling. This left a path for cold air to come from the ceiling space between the floors to come into the room.